it's your boy Fat Man. Okay, for the most part, I don't know how to talk about this. And for a lot of people, you're probably gonna look at me and be like, well, you're not the arbinger of talk about everything type of guy. No, the fuck I ain't. Listen, I can add my commentary to a lot of stuff. Mostly, it's something I know how to talk about. Personally, I just don't know how to talk about this. But it involves MrBeast once again. But now I'm adding my commentary to MrBeast, Chris, and Sunny V2. Sunny V2 came out with a video talking about why Chris transitioning or his transitioning to however the fuck he feels is gonna ruin the MrBeast brand. And personally, I don't like that. Because now you kind of talking about the brand and their friendship, which is OD. So, we're going to talk about this. And MrBeast already came out and kind of said, Chris is not my employee, he's my fucking friend. Like, let's stop the cap on the bullshit. I got to support my nigga. My business is my business. He's just working with me. I pay him a check. I do whatever the fuck. He don't have to work with me if he feels like he's going to get attacked like this. Basically anything like that. I agree. Well, he didn't say that, but think about it from the logistics, right? If you got somebody working with you, and do you feel like they're going to cause you any business? No. But if you feel like the business is going to get them attacked because they're going through things personal, that's not reflecting to the business in any type of way. They're going through something that has nothing to do with you, but has everything to do with the situation in its entirety, which personally for me, It's kind of fucked up. I'm just saying. But let's get into the full video. Here we go. You've been disrespected, shitted on, and personally, we're going to see what happens. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment, be notified.
The Chris Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for MrBeast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the MrBeast channel.
Let me say this one more time, right? It's called the MrBeast channel, not the Chris Tyson channel. However, Chris has been on the show doing whatever he does, adding commentary, just like Jimmy with his commentary videos and anything else, impacting the channel. It gets millions and millions of views regardless. I don't know how something like that is going to impact the channel. People look at someone transitioning and it's already a political thing. Personally, I'm going to throw my 2 cents here. I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care what you say you are. I don't care about pronouns. I don't care about none of that shit. You just can't rewrite the whole English dictionary to use a pronoun to describe yourself. Yes, some people will be like, I hope they, as a group of people, are okay. I hope that person or him, she, whoever the fuck is so fine. People will still say these things. But it's not your job to correct somebody on how their speech is. We've been talking this way for years, and some people just feel like it's harder for me to change my speech. Perfectly fine, right? You can agree to disagree. I don't care. But that's what I'm saying from my sense. And if you're transitioning and you feel like people need to call you she, but one day you were a he, that's going to be offsetting to a lot of people. It just happens. And some people are going to say, well, that just sounds like you're a discomfort or you can't accept who I am. It's like, that's not it. It comes off out of nowhere to other people, like an explosion in their face. Like, I don't know how to take this. I'm still treating you like a human, but I can't treat you like I used to treat you because it's kind of, I was treating you like a boy, like my homie, like someone I fucked with. Now you're completely different. I don't know if I can still treat you that way or not. Some people's perceptions of somebody changes the same way they change. MrBeast runs an entire YouTube channel with his boys. So you're telling me his entire channel is going to change off of that? Dude, no. Chris hasn't even chosen pronouns, I've heard. So he's just still being called by Chris. He doesn't go by she, they. He still could go by him. You call the motherfucker whatever you want. He's eliminated that entirely for people to decide whatever the fuck. Personally, I agree.
In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck-loving dude. Yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making tweets such as, "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs, I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?
See, right here, you got the Chris on the other side who looks like he's done a lot of drugs. First of all, no offense, the other side of him looks like he's done a lot of drugs. Was doing some crazy shit, and he did not care about life. This one, he looks a little chipper. His hair is a little better. He looked like he got some vibrant energy in his life. He looks like he's changed enough to the point where it doesn't like he's killing himself. That's what I see. But somebody made a comment to that,
prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better."
I agree with that. When I met my ex, I was working out constantly. I was chilling. I was doing a lot of stuff. But then I started working. I started chilling with my ex. Nigga, I started getting tired. Yo, I started eating bad. Started working out. Yo, shit happens. I've learned as a dude, if you don't already have a lot of money, working out and not having like too many female problems to deal with, and like anything else you're doing is fair game and all that stuff. I realized having a job, a girlfriend, and trying to work out, that's 3 jobs, nigga. I'm like, nah, fuck out of here. Then I just let it go. It just happened. Sometimes that's how it is. He might have let himself go, and then he got back on his shit. But then mental health is like he's talking to a psychiatrist, a therapist. He's probably talking to somebody that's helping him fucking get out of his head a little more, maybe.
Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his MrBeast.
Like he has a fucking ugly mullet or just long hair he's experimenting with. Like he's like, I got a mullet, a long hair. You still see his niggas Adam's apple though. This shit's crazy.
Appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay, so some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails? Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to
these comments are mostly people who've been watching. These aren't kids. These are like teens. These are like maybe grown-ass people that have been watching the MrBeast channel for a long time. I started seeing Chris change a lot too in videos. But I said to myself, I'm like, Chris is changing. And I had to be like, well, see what happened. Personally, it's not my business. I've learned this. A lot of people notice things that's an obvious to them. They can't ignore. You changing, going through something, nigga, I can't ignore that. It's obvious. What's happening in your life, people start to find out.
The video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty ridiculous.
Yo, why everybody's like, Carl's turned him gay? Carl get bitches, bro. Look at Carl and look at Chris. Carl looks so chill and relaxed. You know how many girls are probably on Carl's dick right now? Stop playing with Carl.
As Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed,
I don't know if that's the same, and that's in the same like fucking instance. I believe they probably got divorced, but
the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails. As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self, he'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image, showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google...
Okay, I don't know what the fuck HRT is. So is HRT female hormones? But why is it called HRT? So the H is the hormones, the R is what, and the T, HRT? I never heard of that. It's just okay.
Surge is the medical process for changing genders. Chris would expand on this by stating, "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies."
What? Hold on, time out. But what does HRT do to the body, right? Because if you're already a dude, a male, born male, and you're transitioning, how old is Chris? Like him and MrBeast the same age, right? They're both like 20 something. They're not even in their 30s yet, right? They're still in like in their mid 20s. So let's say he's 28, Jimmy's 27, he's 27, he's 28, right? They're not in their 30s yet. Imagine this dude kicks it into his 30s and he's done HRT. Is that changing his chemical makeup? What is that doing to him? Because personally, I've heard of it, but I never understood what the fuck it was. I thought it was like a pill. Like motherfuckers is they saying HRT is bad for people in general because it's the same thing they use to castrate prisoners in jail. And I'd be like, really? I don't know. This is just stuff I've heard. This is speculation at this point. But if he's going through the surgery, he's saying it saved his life. Saved his life how? That when people say that type of rhetoric, you have to look at it like, how did this save your life? Or did you feel like you were going to murder yourself, kill yourself? Because there's a YouTuber I met, right? He's an animator. Well, now it's she, right? And before I met, he was a cool dude. He was kind of beatboxing, all that stuff, right? Then over the times I've seen him, he was going through some changes. And I'm like, damn, bro, you going through some changes. But I fucked with him. He was still cool. I just didn't know if he fucked with me. One time I shared a picture. Bro got pissed. And next thing you know, was like, oh, you're fetishizing the way I used to look. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just sharing this picture and tagging you in it because all you guys were just fucking cool to me at the time. Like, on some real shit. Oh, who are you to me? I'm like, I thought we were cool. I thought we were friends. But that's it. Well, I'm not. Bye. I was like, all right, cool, nigga, fuck you. Like, you gonna be an asshole. And the fact that he's like, oh, he hated himself. He was pissed at himself. He was like, oh, I didn't like myself. I wanted to commit suicide on myself. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You didn't like who you was at that point? Why? That's a personal problem. You go look inwards to why you don't like and love yourself in general, right? Then if you're transitioning into who you are now, fine. Love who you are now, but praise who you were then. Because without who you were, you would never be here, period. Point blank. To hate yourself at that point. And I found that really disgusting. I was like, why would you hate who you was to now be like, I love who I am, fuck who I was? That's disgusting. Love yourself at all points in your life. Because if you would have, God forbid, took your own life, you would have never gotten to this transition that you are in now. And this is just me speaking in general to that person in conversation. And they're like, oh, you don't get it. I'm like, all right, nigga, I didn't have to get it. But they're still a good artist. They're still making good art. If I won't tag their art, I won't tag them because I don't want them looking at this video, seeing my input towards Chris or anything, because they're gonna probably say some dickhead shit. I still follow their work and their stuff, but then eventually it's all like wedgie content and fetish shit, so I just kind of left it behind. But they still do their own stuff. This person transitioned. Chris transitioned. I don't care if you transition. You just won't change my perception of who you was to who you are now. I still think of you as the same person. People still think of Chris as still Chris. But there's this block in their minds that why did you have to change your entire body makeup and your compass to feel that you was a woman? Some people might not understand and analyze that. I don't get it either, but it's not my place to get it. I can just understand it from this point of view. It just off-puts and offsets. But we live our lives as human beings at the end of the day. When we're gone, and no one really, people remember us through the memories that we leave behind. They don't remember our gender. Let's continue.
Which received a positive response from both Carl and MrBeast, who wrote, "Got you, I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers...
Yo, MrBeast is like, I like to petty up my niggas. Fuck him. Why is he like fake petty?
Expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man time.
Time out. I hate niggas that say shit like this and they never went through anything. You don't know if hard times will create strong men. It could create a jaded ass motherfucking person. It could create a person that doesn't give a fuck about anything. Someone willing to shoot up a school. Hard times don't create strong men. There's two types of men out there. Someone who's down on their luck and they're going to get back up soon and they're going to find a way. And someone that's in the complete shit. What's in the complete shit, you say? They're homeless. They ain't got no fucking place to stay. They ain't got no place to go. They got nothing to their fucking names. Family won't help them. Friends won't help them. They are in the shit by themselves, right? You could call that the hardest time there is, or harder times in general. Now, this person has the same two options. A, get the fuck up, or B, stay in the shit. They're going to try everything that they can to get the fuck up and not stay in the shit. In general, it's hard to not stay in the shit. It's hard to get the fuck up. It's hard to be on your grind, moving, grooving, and trying to get shit done. Some men out there in the world, they didn't get back up. They did what most men do in the Midwest. They took their lives and they ended it. Why did they do that? Because it was the most beneficial thing they could do. They couldn't learn. They couldn't adapt. You know the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, these men took that phrase literal and they took their lives. Some people took their dogs' lives. Some people grinded and gritted their teeth through it. Now, yes, do I believe hard times create a strong man? No, 50-50. The man can become jaded and fucked up and never get the fuck back up. The man can grit his teeth and try to grind, but he's never going to get back to where he used to be, maybe personally stable. You don't know what creates an individual. A man and a woman going through some hard shit out there, 9 times out of 10, the guy would love to sell his body, organs, anything to make some money. Women will sell their bodies in a heartbeat not to be poor and broken. Look, I respect it because we don't want to end up in the shit. Nobody does. Nobody wants to be homeless. But to say that hard times create strong men, you're wrong on that. You don't know what the fuck creates a strong man. A lot of people in the hood says the hood created them to be strong, but now when they leave the hood, they're always on their toes. They're still looking over their shoulder. They never let their guard down. They're going through PTSD every fucking day because their mans have been shot, their friends have been shot, anybody's been shot. And when they finally left the hood with their family and the rest of their family left the hood, do you know what? That person still doesn't feel comfortable or doesn't feel safe to sleep at night. They still think of the shit that happened to them. Like PTSD just doesn't go the fuck away unless you're going for like some crazy powerful treatments or spiritual stuff, then that's up to you. But to say this, that Chris is not there for his son, that's fucked up. I seen the picture. I'm going to probably post it over here. Chris is still chilling with his son. Yeah, he got divorced from his wife, but his son is still his main fucking priority. People are pissed that his son is wearing girl shoes, but I'll say this for the most part. You and me, we don't have kids at this point. Kids wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. They fuck around, do a whole bunch of shit, but they know that's not for them. They know. Some kids start to know. Yeah, they'll wear like mom shoes and just be that person or put dad shoes on. Kids do a lot of shit. They wear and do anything because they're just fucking kids. They're having fun, being free. It's your job as an adult to say, okay, cool, no more of the shoes and blah, blah, blah. That's it. Be responsible for your own damn selves. But to sit here and say hard times create strong men and weak times create weak men, no. What's a weak time? Because a strong man is crying when no one's looking, down and depressed when no one's looking, beating himself up, saying he's the worst, the shit, dealing with everything, his own problems. A strong man is dealing with a lot of shit on the low and has to get back up and put on a little smile. A weak man is dealing with the hardest shit on top of him. It might be mental illness. It might be a loss of a family member. It might be losing a house and having to sleep in his RV. It might be anything. How do you decide who is weak and who is strong? Because at this point, anybody going through the shit can be considered weak. There's a lot of homeless people in New York City. I feel sorry for most of them. I give a homeless person $1 here or there, but I've learned to stop giving you money and ask, nigga, what do you need help with? I can go get you some food, and if they don't take the food, they only want the money so they can go do drugs and kill themselves. Or they take that money, they go buy the food themselves. Personally, I respect that. I gave money to a dude, and he ran right into the coffee shop. He bought himself a bagel and got himself a coffee for like $150 or whatever the fuck. And I respected that. Any other homeless person I would give him money to, they immediately just stood there and asked for more change, or asked me when I came out and I wanted to duff him in the face. The homeless problem can't be fixed, or it can be, but there's homeless people out there probably grifting. It's crazy. But this is fucked up to say Mans is not a father to his child, or he's a weak man, or he's not going through hard times. His boy's rich as shit, giving him a proper salary, making him money, and he's taking care of his son. Chris is better off than most of you motherfuckers out there. I hope y'all know that. He's better off than anybody out there right now. He is at a point probably really, really better off than most of anybody. And his son is probably having a fucking huge college fund at this point. We're talking the biggest college fund. His son is going to go fucking anywhere he wants. So he's the best dad out there. Niggas is tripping. Let's continue this video. I got heated from that because motherfuckers want to be out here talking about, oh, Mans is a bad father. Bitch, who is you to say he's a bad dad? What the fuck is your upbringing? Where's your dad? Where's your father? Like, stop sucking niggas' dicks on some real shit.
Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker."
I wouldn't say it's for Tucker. That's number one. Don't ever say something is for him. Pull that back and really look at it from another person's point of view, not mine. Somebody else would say you're selfish for transitioning and taking away a father. I would say actually he's still there. He still could be considered a dad. His son could still call him daddy. His son knows how to talk at this point. He was like dad, mom. He still knows his dad as dad. Ain't gonna say mommy. It's not it. He's still there for his son. Some people are looking at it like, but he's not there for his son. I'm like, no, he could take him to his baseball games, take him out to throw catch. He could still be a father to his son. He's not gonna be a woman or a mother to his son. He's still seen through his son's eyes as maybe that's my dad. All right, I know my dad. Yeah, my dad's a little weird, but whatever the fuck. Like, I can't sit here, and Chris can't sit here and say it's for Tucker. Now, some people will bring up the selfishness part. Oh, this is the best for Tucker. What is the best for you? Oh, you transitioned for him. He transitioned for whoever the fuck he wanted to transition for. Personally and ethically, he transitioned for his damn self. I don't have a problem with a man choosing his own decisions. Because it's not a teenager, it's not a child. I don't fuck with kids like 4, 6, or even younger going through any type of treatments. That's weird. And I don't like parents encouraging like, oh yeah, my son is a girl. What? The doctor told you the sex, you learned this shit, and they said it's a boy. It's not a girl. That's weird. Personally, that's weird. That don't make sense to me, but I can't alter somebody else's perception or what they see. I could try. I'm not gonna get in a fucking argument with you. That's just how I stand. If I get a kid, he's a boy, he's a boy. He's a girl, he's a girl. That's it. A lot of the black community would say, yeah, that's some nonsense. Some people in the black community who are hippy dippy open would say gender is a spectrum. Personally, maybe if we weren't all separated by gender, it would be a spectrum. But we are separated by gender, which is what it is. And I'm not talking about the people who call themselves they, them, zizzers, cats, meows, and dog pups. No, fuck no, that's stupid. I'm talking about a truth that everybody can understand and agree with. I agree with Chris, a grown-ass man doing this, I got no problems with making decisions. There's been trannies on my block for years. There's transgenders that, trannies that have been out there for tons of years. That's how it goes. I don't see this as a problem, but people are looking at it like, well, he's not a dad. I'm like, no, he's still there for his son. He didn't just say, fuck my family. He's still being a fucking father. But Chris says his happiness. So he already contradicts himself with the writing. But he says he has to look within himself to see who the fuck he was and bring out the best of him. Personally, I don't got a problem with that. Unless it wasn't for his son, it was for what his son is going to remember his dad by. And, you know, as little kids, your memory and things you start to remember comes back to you very vividly the older you get. It's crazy. Let's continue.
Chris's response received some positivity such as, "I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life."
People are still calling him a father. Father, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a father without being a man. Now, a woman would be you know what I'm saying? If two women are raising you, obviously you still have some type of figures in your life. It just is what it is.
As well as, "I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic."
Nigga said zesty. Boy, please. He ain't acting zesty. I think he made a decision. He didn't stop being a father, like I said. And he painted his nails. I don't paint my nails. I think that's a lot of fucking extra work. I'm like, I'm not a woman. I'm not painting my fucking nails. I'm not going to a nail tech. I'm not doing that shit. I'll clean my nails. I'll keep my nails and my hygiene up. I'll go see if I gotta get the hair and nails medication, but that's it. I'm not going any further than that. I've seen some white dudes paint their fucking toenails green, and I'd be like, that's weird, nigga. What? That's weird. That's weird, personally. And I think I had an argument with a friend. I'd be like, I don't fuck with niggas who wear pearls. That's weird. And a friend of mine was like, but rich people wore pearls. I'm like, rich men have not wore... Show me something where rich men wore pearls. I'd be like, cool. Okay, fuck them, though. I don't like pearls. Women who wear pearls, they wear it better than guys. I say it when it's honest. I'm honest with this. I see women wear pearls. It's just better on them. Guys, we wear stuff, it's better on us. Women, they wear stuff, it's better on them. And most women who wear guy stuff, they look good in it, I ain't gonna lie. But there's a contradiction where it's like, I don't like dudes who paint their nails. I'm just being biased. I think if you paint your nails, unless you're emo, a rock star, or you like got a punk band, or you got, or you're part of like the punk, techno style, nigga, then cool, I don't give a fuck. You're part of that craze. That's different. That's a whole fad. If you are like any other person and you painting your nails, the fuck are you doing? Like if you work at a coffee shop and your nails is painted, your toes is painted, you wearing pearls in your neck, nigga, you weird. That is weird, personally. And most women find that attractive, and most women don't. You know, it's a 50-50 time people. But that's my thoughts. That's how I feel. I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you do. That's your business. Personally, I don't see it every day. And when I do see it, I make fun of it. But I'm not going to laugh in your face and be like, you a fucking freak zesty bitch. I'm not doing that. I can, but I'm not doing that.
He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house, a life full of difference and being alone.
I don't know about that. Like, at the same time, I never had friends come over my house either, because we lived in the hood, and I went over my friends' houses because they were kind of close by, you know what I'm saying? But that kind of started up early, and you kind of have to realize the open-mindedness of a child. It's not about your dad. It's about me chilling at your house, chilling with the kid. Tucker's gonna have friends. He gonna have friends. It's like, that's just is what it is. Kids are always gonna make friends regardless. His dad isn't gonna chase away his friends. I know people feel that way, but I'm like, I think you're kind of projecting. Or you're kind of making a false fallacy because you don't know. That's years and years down the fucking line. That's years and years down the future. So right now, you're just saying shit. Personally.
Must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure? Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments...
YouTube is run by like the bodiest bot dickhead. Like, you're glowing heart. And like, I like how MrBeast says YouTube gets a W, but I'm like, we can't even reach YouTube sometimes. Fuck a W. You get an L.
also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life.
But who is you to say his life is being ruined? Who is you to say that his life and his perspective and his goals and what the fuck he wants to do is being ruined? That is still an opinion. But you still been ratioed, my nigga. Like, come on, bro. You only got 30 followers, but you could have been like getting more followers, and then you still got ratioed. Like, the fuck is you talking about? And you got 500. You got 5,008 likes. Those 5,000 people didn't translate into to followers. Like, come on, bro. And be honest. You sit there on a throne of judgment when a lot of, like I said before, right? You can't speak for someone and speak on an opinion base without knowing if things are going to happen like that. Like I said, kids are open-minded. Who aren't open-minded, like you get to high school, niggas start cutting your ass. You get to middle school, it starts to get dangerous around middle school. Middle school to high school. Those are the times that you'll remember. Even like junior K, kindergarten, something like that, you will get the fucking life beaten out of you. It's crazy. And sometimes people don't understand that. But for a man to sit here and be like, oh, nah, you just yes men, that's his friend. They're going to agree with him or not. And I got to say this. For a part of the video, he's probably talked to his peoples about this a long time ago. He had to sit down with his wife. He had to sit down with his friends. We don't know his train of thought for the years. All we're going off is tweets and comments, just like this dickhead. He's only going off what people are saying.
In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example,
but are these people who watch the videos organically, or people just going there to spam and say fuck you, fuck MrBeast, fuck Chris, blah blah blah, right? Because that means a lot. Let's be honest, that means a totally different type of situation, because you don't know if these are people who just go from Twitter to YouTube and just say fuck MrBeast, or like what is it? Because that's just not fair.
In a recent livestream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you.
They drew Urza, you dick.
So well. It looks just...
Jimmy's like, okay, nigga, whatever, motherfucker. Because I think Chris is ripping on Jimmy to rip on the audience, to make fun of the people who were pissed at him. Like, I think he's trolling to troll, and Jimmy's like, are you fucking doing this? Like, oh God, he's trolling. I hate him. And Jimmy's just playing it off like, nigga, please. Is that some anime shit you watch? It looks awkward to us, but it also is like they're very focused in just opening packages. They're just like, ugh. We're opening 1,000 packages. Are you fucking serious? Ugh. Like, I fuck with it, but damn.
Just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind. MrBeast. That is my...
That's fine. MrBeast's like, I'm fine with that. I don't want anime. Because he doesn't...
My tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part,
I think they're just awkward ass niggas, because we only see them when they're recording a video and they're constantly on a script. They're constantly moving fast. This is them not moving fast. This is them not on a script. This is what this is. Live streams are just like this. They're just like, nice shoes. What the fuck are we doing? Like, I believe this is the real them. It's not the fast-paced shit that we give them. Like, we only know MrBeast through his fast-paced, quick content. This is MrBeast slow down. This is MrBeast chilling. This is him and his crew chilling, slowing down. It's not them at like 45 miles an hour. What's the point? They're going to be awkward. They're going to be off. Obviously, if MrBeast did a whole live stream shit, he'd be on top of the world. Let's be honest.
The live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place? Perhaps the opposite.
Because he's changing doesn't mean his personality just went with it. He's still the same person. He might just not look the same. I feel like that's where we're drawing the line. So when he's doing the CRT and everything, does his personality and his entire perspective of who he was changes with him? I don't think so. I don't necessarily agree. I think this is still the same person. He's just gone through an entire change, which he feels benefits him personally. I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. That's not my life. I don't speak for niggas with money. I speak for people who don't get it and want to analyze it from a different perspective. We can say, yeah, fuck Chris, fuck this transgender shit. We can say all that if we don't like it. Fine. It's a form of an opinion, and once again, I think he's still the same person. He just went through a transition to feel different to how he mentally felt. And that's a bigger aspect. Does he feel this on a mental scale, or is he more connecting with a different soul or a different side of himself? Let's just be honest, right? Some people would say, "Oh, that's mental illness." Probably is, or we don't like I said, we don't know. So I don't think he's changed mentally. I think he's still the same person. Unless y'all want him to act like a dickhead, then that's different.
It will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos. MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be...
Now that's when we fuck up. He has alluded that Chris is a Hollywood actor. Chris is a character. Chris is not a human. That's the most fucked up part of the video. Everything else he was saying had a little merit, but it's all, once again, speculation and opinion. You can't sit there and say, oh, Chris changing is going to ruin the dynamic, like Hollywood adding gay characters or adding this and that. I'm like, personally, you can add a gay character. You just can't go into these interviews and all these other things like, yeah, like Eternals was trash. I didn't watch Eternals because it wasn't the comic book Eternals. It wasn't colorful, it wasn't vibrant, it was bullshit. They just kept relating that it was the first gay kiss in Marvel, the first this, the first that. And I could probably look up some stuff and that proves them wrong. It's not the first. It's not. Brokeback Mountain, I'm just saying. But at the end of it, that didn't do well. And a lot of people didn't like Eternals. They didn't even know if it was still in the Marvel Universe. Personally. And Chris is not an actor. He's MrBeast's friend. To portray him as a character is fucked up. Like, this is not Strange Worlds that came out. They had a black gay character, and he was a focal point just like his father and his father before him, right? Both men who, one wanted to be an adventurer, teach his son how to do the ways. The other one wanted to kind of be a farmer and grow and push things forward. There's a whole perspective on that. And that movie was really bad. Like, I sat down with somebody and we both watched it. It was okay, but she even said, it was like, there's just too much stuff here. Like, they're going really hard for no reason. They didn't even let you breathe and take it all in from a standpoint, and I agree. Even this, he's not a character, he's a person. Treat him as a character, that's fucked up. To insinuate that he's a character, he's going to change the dynamic of the MrBeast brand is fucked up. Because MrBeast is the brand. MrBeast is the dynamic. Jimmy, it's his brand. He just hires his friends because he can. The fuck wrong with you?
Be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit for the MrBeast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So
views
you're
if
a
I got
Keemstar
it.
The problem is
But he said drama's good for growth. What is it? Logan Paul was going to ask, are you with the Keemstar stuff? Jimmy probably would have said, 50-50. I didn't watch that whole interview, but I don't think Jimmy agrees with Keemstar and the growth and that type of drama, because Keemstar lives off of drama and growth, and he's a bitch too. So let's put it like that. And the fact that you go off of that, this is not even drama through MrBeast. This is my boy going through something, and yeah, the internet sees it as they see it, but still he has to work with my brain. He has to do what I have to tell him to do. At the end of it, I employ my dude. I agree with his decisions. That's his personal choice. It doesn't affect my brand. Because he works with me, everybody believes it's going to affect me. Quartering came out with some shit that says now it leaves Jimmy to be non-apolitical. He has to add every comment and be political on something. I'm like, he doesn't. You want him to. Fuck out of here.
this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation.
Or Chris could leave. Chris could leave of his own volition because he's getting attacked online, or people are starting to send, because right now they're just sending comments. But later on, niggas might be threatening to find you, kill you. Like, there's people out there that just don't fuck with being transgender in general. And I don't call for the killing of nobody. I just call for the understanding and conversation of these things. The last thing I want to hear is, oh, we're going to go out there and kill you. Nigga, what? Bitch, come find me. You get a bullet. I don't care what you say. But off the cuff, it just seems very disgusting. It seems very wild that everybody's like, oh, well, MrBeast has to decide and choose. Who says? He could cut the line where he has to cut the line. He could be like, listen, Chris is my friend. Fuck all you guys. Fuck what you guys think. I respect his choice, and I can't choose for him. That's not my place. He's a grown-ass adult. I give him a paycheck. That's all it is. He's my boy still, but at the end of it, it's your thoughts and opinions that make it look even more disgusting. Oh, but Chris is, so what? So what?
For MrBeast. I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable situation
He has more than one channel.
is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare. Jimmy has no option but to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
Alright, so we're done here. Personally and off the cuff, I see it like this. The fact that you believe that, oh, Chris's decision's gonna impact Jimmy, I could agree to disagree. I agree as in how is it gonna impact Jimmy is because people don't like Chris being on the channel. It's not they don't like MrBeast. They don't like Chris being on the channel. They don't like Chris engaging with this younger audience that MrBeast has. They don't like that because they don't like trans people. Personally, that's a personal problem. Now, Jimmy can say, Chris is going to stay. I do what the fuck I want. It's called the MrBeast channel, not the Chris channel. Last time I said it, he hires mans. He gives mans a check. If he lets mans goes or mans takes a step back from the camera, he could tell him, yo, take a step back from the camera because I'm tired of you getting hate and I don't know how to stop it. Personally, that just is what it is. People are going to harp on this as much as they want. I can't control that. MrBeast can't control that. Chris can't control that. It's personal perspective. I've broken down a lot of stuff in this video and had conversations and only said what it is, right? People will bring up religion for some particular reason. I don't know why. And religion doesn't talk anything about this. There's no talk about transgender. There's pedophiles. That's what most of the Catholic churches and other people are like. Any religion, and religion should not be the one coming in and dictating who the fuck we are as individuals. But individuals should be dictating what the fuck something is, how to talk about it, how to go through conversations. Same thing with this. Like I said in the video, Chris had to talk to everybody about this before he transitioned randomly in his life. It had to start with the nails. It had to start with him feeling some type of energy. It had to start with him and his wife talking about it. It had to start with him and his friends. And his boys are probably just like, okay, nigga, I don't care. That's your life. I can't live it for you. Are you still going to be there for your son? They probably asked. He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, nigga, you're not a deadbeat. You're not deciding to leave everything behind. Personally, that just is what it is. Now, I try my best to be very, very, let's say, not even politically correct. Try to not come off like a fucking discriminatory jackass. I'm not trying to discriminate against Chris or anybody LGBTQ or trans, but I am also trying to make a fucking point. And I'm not trying to use the word phobic because that still means discrimination. Just say I'm discriminating. But I'm not trying to discriminate against anyone here. I'm trying to make a point and have a conversation. And if we all can't sit down and have these conversations, I don't fucking know what life is anymore. I think we're all just yelling into the void and we all want echo chambers. At the end of it, Chris made a decision. MrBeast understands that decision. People aren't going to like Chris because he's working with MrBeast and he's trans, which is fucked up. MrBeast is going to be pissed at the backlash like he already is because that's his friend and he can't stop the hate. Which means he's powerless. Which means people are going to go to the channel and review bomb it just because, bomb it just because of this. How to stop it, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think this is fucked up? Do you think this Sunny VTube is a dickhead for making this video and referring to Chris as a cartoon character or an actor? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified. And from me to you, remember to never give up, never surrender, keep on grinding. Peace. And I am out. Fucking character. What a dickhead, man. Woo. I'm about to get me some MrBeast chocolate.
Shit.
Getting on drum.
This is the last one.
You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill.
This is the last
Some
one.
of you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract. I
Ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All the niggas falling like autumn, nigga. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous.
Yeah, man.
Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden?